rotating. Mr. Daniel, please.
This call is now being recorded.
Okay. Um, we're welcome to today's class once again. So, this class was put together by Dataline, as usual. Some of us might be new to Dataline, so we're going to introduce Dataline to us as we move on. So basically, in this class, we're going to actually learn how to harness local and international opportunities in data analysis and data science in general. So we'll also have some practical sessions on Excel, um, Power BI, and SQL, Python. We'll just touch some of those tools, and then would get questions from people and also introduce us to our paid programs too. But all in all, I'm sure that would actually learn a lot from this class, and I hope that we take whatever we learn here and we make good use of them. All right, can we hear me? Let me be sure that we can hear me.
Yes. Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay, okay. Now let me start by saying this is data line analytics and consulting. Let me just give a brief introduction about data line to some of us. We actually train uh, people, and you also outsource, like your firm wants to actually analyze their data set and then get insights from it. As so we actually do corporate trainings and then group trainings, but majorly we operate online. We operate online, so you're able to train anyone anywhere in the world without the borderless world, right? So please let's make sure that we mute our mics so that we can enjoy the class. So data line analytics and consulting, we train and we outsource, and we have actually trained over 300 students in the last 1 year, and we both free classes and the paid ones. So over 200 students, and we have notified 3 cohorts currently. So we are starting the 4th cohort by next month. So in case anyone wants to join, so you can reach out to us, and they will put you through how to join. Most of our classes, in fact, all our classes are online, and they're always recorded too, just like this free webinar. So if for any reason you actually miss a part of this free webinar, you can get the recording, because we upload it on our YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it at your convenience. But we advise that you stay till the end of the class so that you actually are able to ask your questions and then give answers to them. All right, so we actually also run mentorship for students in data analysis and data science. So if you're actually interested, you can reach out. So this free webinar, let me walk us through, some of the things we are going to actually be doing in this free webinar. But before I start, uh, let me introduce our facilitators to us. Uh, I have with me on the class today, or in the class today, Mr. Sarumi, Daniel. Pardon me, I forgot to mention my name. I'm Tolu Additional. So if you want to reach out to me, you can call me Mr. Tolu. All right, so I have with me Mr. Sarumi here. Mr. Sarumi,
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
yeah, okay,
Um,
yeah, good afternoon. So that's Mr. Sarumi. He will walking us through, some of the practicals for today in Power BI. Miss Abigail too is supposed to be here, but she actually isn't here due to some unforeseen reasons that came up. But I mean, if she's chance, she would join us before we close the class, I believe. So I also have Mr. Wale here. Mr. Wale here.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adewale
Yeah,
by
good
name.
afternoon. Yeah, so Mr. Wale is our SQL man. SQL. So, and I don't know if our Python um, Don is here. Mr. Bot, are you on the line? Okay, I guess he has not joined yet. So, okay, so today in class we would have um, introduction to data analysis. If you are new to data analysis, would actually introduce you to them because I'm so aware that some of us truly switching careers to data analysis, and we just want to say what's up with data analysis. What is in for me if I switch my career? Is it actually promising? Are there for data analysts and the like? So we have those questions, and then we'll get answers to them in this free webinar. I'm running out of time already, but and also we would have our speakers speak to us. Our guests, they're already on. Mr. Yeboah, are you?
Yeah, hi, Mr. Pulu. Yeah, I'm on the line.
Hello, Mr. Yeboah.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Tulu. Yeah, I'm on the line.
Oh, I guess he has network. There's a little issue with the network. Okay, Miss Abim, okay, she has not joined too, I guess, but I am sure she would join us in the course of the class. Okay, so we would have that, and would have practical sessions to empower.
Tolu, are you there? So can anyone hear me?
Sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I can hear you,
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think Tolu is having issue with his network. Um, so okay. As you have seen, that is the flow of the program for today. Though it's not yet done, but because of the time, I think I should start with the introduction to data analytics. So let me start sharing my screen now. I'll start sharing my screen now. Okay, can anyone see my screen now?
yes.
Anyone? Okay, good, good. Yeah, great. So this section is on introduction to data analytics. So in case you are new to data analysis and you want to know what we actually mean by data analysis, what it entails, this section is going to do a little bit of justice to that. So now, what is data analytics? Can I just get a simple definition from someone in the class? Anyone? Very fast because of our time. Very fast now. Anyone?
Sorry, someone is raising hand.
Okay, yeah, you can go on. I think I'm on my screen, that's why I can't see. Okay, there's some digital, you can go on. You can go on. Ella, are you there? Ella, are you there? Okay, I think because of our time, I will just go on. So the thing is, companies are now getting a lot of data, and the data they are getting are always in raw form. They are in raw form. So when we have this data in raw form, it is not useful for the company, and that is where data analytics comes in. Because when you have your data in the raw form, you can't make any decision with it. So that is where data analytics comes in. So before I give my definition regarding data analytics, I'm going to give a simple example now. So now let's imagine ShopRite now. When you go to ShopRite, you see that they enter your products, what you purchase inside the system. That is them getting your data in the raw form now. So them getting your data in the raw form without analyzing it, it is not actually very useful to them. So data analytics now comes in to now make that raw data make sense so that they can make smart decision with it. So now, and that will move me to my definition of data analytics. And it says that data analytics is the process of analyzing raw data in order to pull out insights which are useful to companies to drive out smart decisions. So when we talk about data analytics, it is about taking raw data, actually, raw data that are not meaningful, that are in their raw form, but out of this raw data, we are to pull out insights that the company can use to make decisions. So that's like the end goal of data analytics, to pull out insights that the company can use to make decisions. Because when a company has just its raw data, they can't make use of it to do any decision making. But when you analyze it, when it is being analyzed, put into production, then they can get out insights for them to make decisions. So then I also have another definition here. It says that data analytics is the act and process of using organizations, individuals, or government historical data to determine what happened or is happening. So that's the first step. The first step is to pick up probably an organization data, or probably an individual data or government data, to now look at the data and now look at, okay, what actually happened in the past. Okay, we want to see how much revenue the company made in the past, or want to see the profit margin of the company in the past. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about data analytics. And what is currently happening? Okay, now in this current year, or probably for this current month, what has been the revenue since the start of the month? What has been the revenue? So in that way, we are actually analyzing our data. Then we have the second aspect, which is that why the business is in its current state. So in that aspect, when you are done getting, let's say you are done getting the value, the revenue value for the company, then the second thing you want to look at is, okay, we made 300 million. So why are we in this current state? Why are we not making over 300 million? Or why are we making that 300 million? Because it seems like it is kind of too high or too low. So I am another aspect of data analysis is you now going deep to know why the company or the business or the organization is in that current state. Then moving on, we have it here that what is likely to happen in the future. So that is the aspect of predicting. So I mean data analytics, you also have predictive analysis, where you predict what is going to happen in the future based on the historical data you have. Then also, when you are done predicting, then you now have to tell the company what they have to do So that's like, okay, we are done with our analysis. So this is what you have to do in order to move your company forward. So what you have to do first is to get what happened to the company before, which is like in the past, what is happening to the company currently, then why is the company in that current state, then you have to predict, then finally you have to prescribe what the company is to do. So just that's just like an overview of data analytics, just using raw data, pulling out insight from raw data so that a company can make decision from it. So very fast, I'm going to move into why data analytics. Like, why do we need data analytics? So I have 4 points here, and the first one says that to generate reports. So conducting data analysis can be as simple as generating reports. So just simple as that, for you to generate report, you might not really have to do much, but it can be as simple as that. It's also a process of analyzing data. Then with the second one we have is that to make data-driven decision. So the another reason why we do data analytics, why we engage in data analytics is to make data-driven decision, because it won't be okay for a company or a big company to make decision based on intuition. Like okay, next month I feel like we should buy more of this product. Based on your intuition, you're making decision. You're not making decision based on the historical data you have. So that is where data analytics comes in. It helps you to make decision based on historical data, because historical data is like facts, what is actually happening. So if you're making decision based on intuition, it might fail you. But when you make decision based on historical data, though it is not 100% accurate, but there is possibility of it being 95% accurate. So then the third one we have here is that to uncover hidden insights. So because when we collect data, we always have hidden insight that when a layman looks at the data or try to analyze the data, you won't get some insight. But when you involve data analytics into this data, then you get to discover hidden insights, hidden pattern. Something like maybe you are selling a product and you feel like, oh, after doing your analysis and you feel like, okay, I think during the weekend I sell more of this product. But you're not doing your analysis, you might not get to see this. But when you've done your analysis, you get to uncover the hidden insights that, okay, during the weekend I sell more of this product. That means, okay, then I must make sure that I have this product in stock during the week always. So that's the part of to uncover hidden insights. Then the last one we have here is to optimize business performance. So this is another reason why we use data analytics to optimize business performance, because most business wants to perform well. They don't just want to be stagnant. They want to improve their operation. They want to improve their performance financially, productively, and other aspects. So data analytics helps organizations like this to optimize their business performance in making sure that everything is going on well, the process is perfect, and everything is perfect for continuation. So these are the reasons why we need data analytics, and these are not just this is not everything. We still have more reason why we need data analytics, but I have highlighted like 4 points here: to generate reports, to make data-driven decision, to uncover insights, then to optimize business performance. So those are the reasons why we need data analytics. So now let's move into the process of data analysis now. So when we talk about data analysis, it has process. You don't just dabble into it and just start doing anything you want to do in analysis. No, you must actually go through a process. And I've listed the process of data analysis here. Sorry, a minute. Tolu, are you in the class?
Yes, I'm in
Okay.
class.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go through the process of data analysis that we have here. So the first process, the first step you have to take in data analysis is question. You have to define a question. You don't just get a data set and just start analyzing. No, that is not the proper way of doing analysis. The proper way of doing analysis is to look at your data, look at the business, and look at and define the question you want to analyze and define the question you want to solve. Or we can put it like, and you have to define the objective you want to achieve. So that is the first thing you have to do. So probably the first thing the first question you have is that, okay, our sales is getting low. We need to find out, why is our sales getting low? That's a question. So it is from this question then you now start building up, and okay, so what do I need to do next? But the first thing you have to do is to, okay, what's the question? What's the problem? Or what's the objective I want to achieve with this analysis? That's the first thing you have to do. Then the second thing you have to do is to gather. And in this process, we are talking of gathering the data set that you need. So, okay, now you see, the question is that, okay, sales is getting low or profit is getting low. So now the next thing you want to do is to gather data that is going to speak to that sales or profit. So normally, you're supposed to gather sales data, or you're supposed to gather profit data. Then you're supposed to gather some other dimension data also, probably sales from different countries, or probably customer segments, or probably regions buying your product. You get? So you have to gather the data you need to achieve that objective you want to achieve. So let's imagine that you don't know what you want to achieve. That means you just have to gather all the data you can get and start your analysis, which is not going to be right. And that is why we said, first of all, you have to define your question, or you define your objective. Then from the objective, you start gathering your data. So after gathering your data, the next thing you have to do is to examine your data. And in this process, what you're actually trying to do is to examine if your data is actually proper, or if your data is actually clean for your analysis. So that's the major thing we are doing here. So you examine it if you can just continue with your analysis with the data, or probably you have to stop and you have to clean the data first before you throw it into your software package for analysis. So the process of examining is just the process of determining if your data is clean or not. So that is just the process of examining your data. So then the next one is cleansing. And in this process, what you just do is to clean your data. And it has been fact-checked that 80% of the data you are going to work with as a data analyst. So in case you are planning to move into this field, 80% of the data sets you are going to work with is going to be dirty. They are not going to be clean at first. So it is your job as a data analyst to make sure it is your job as a data analyst or data scientist to make sure that the data is clean before conducting your analysis. Because trust me, if you just throw in your data for analysis without cleaning, you can't get a good result. And when you don't get a good result, and a company makes decision based on a wrong data, that means you are going to probably cost the company. Because let's imagine a company that is paying royalty to, let's say, clients now, and your data is not clean, and you probably did your analysis and you realize that the total royalty to be paid to a particular client is $400 million. So, but your data is not clean. So, are they being your data is clean? The original royalty is supposed to be like $200 million, but you reported $400 million, meaning that you are going to cost the company an extra $200 million. So that is the effect of not cleaning your data in some aspects. So data must be clean before you start doing any analysis you want to do. Then when we talk about transforming now, when you are done, the next step, which is transforming, when you are done cleaning your data, there are sometimes you don't have all the data sets you want to work with. Imagine, let's say you want to analyze profit margin now. And to analyze profit margin, the formula is just profit divided by sales. But you don't have the profit margin column in your data set. So the process of transforming your data is just the process of getting the data you need right. So in case you don't have it in your data set, you can actually get it by probably writing a formula or probably writing codes to get the particular column you want to work with, or to get the particular data you want to work with. So that's just the process of transforming, just to make sure you get the exact column you want to work with in this case. So then the second to the last step is just the process of analyzing your data. So this is like this is important. Then other steps I've mentioned, so they're actually important. Trust me, every step is important in this aspect. If you miss one step, most likely you won't get your desired result. So the process of analyzing your data is when you now put your data set for analysis, when you now start your descriptive or any analysis you want to conduct on your data in order to achieve your objective, which we stated in the first time in the number one. So then when you are done analyzing your data, you don't just want to give it to users like that. They might not really understand what you did. But that's why we have the last aspect here, which is the visualizing aspect. So when you are done with your analysis, the best thing to do is to visualize your data in a form in which your client or your user or your manager is going to understand perfectly. Because if you present the analysis to them in raw format, they might not really understand, because they might not be a data person, they might not be data inclined person. But when you present it to them in form of charts or in form of anything they are familiar with, they get to understand that, okay, this is what this analysis is saying. This is the report of this analysis. And in this process also, you are actually you're also going to recommend what they are to the step they are to take, or the alternative solution they can actually include in their solutions. Sorry, they can actually include when solving their problem. So like I mentioned, the first thing, you define your question. The second thing is to gather the data you are going to need to solve the question. The third thing is to examine the data, if it is clean or not. So if it is not clean, then you have to clean your data set, which is the fourth step. The fifth step is to transform your data to make sure you have the right column for your analysis. Then after that, you put it into production for analysis. Then when you are done conducting your analysis, then you present it in a format in which the users, they are going to understand. So those are just the process of analyzing your data as a data scientist or a data analyst. So I'm very fast. I'm just going to walk through the types of data analysis that we have. We have four types of data analysis, four common types of data analysis. We have number one, we have the descriptive analysis. We have the diagnostic analysis. We have the predictive, and lastly, we have the prescriptive analysis. So when we talk about descriptive analysis, it's just talking about conducting analysis to know what actually happened in the past and what is actually happening currently. So it's just like, okay, like I mentioned earlier, you want to know how much the company, probably you want to know how much the company made last year. Is just like a descriptive analysis. Or you want to know the total number of orders the company received, or you want to know the gender distribution of their customers. Those are descriptive analysis, because they're actually describing the data you have. It's like you are conducting deep insight. From this descriptive analysis, you are going to get insight also, but you are not going deep. So it is when you go deep that you get to get more insight. Or the descriptive analysis is just to describe your data, see what happened in the past, then what is actually happening currently. Then the second one is the diagnostic analysis. And in the diagnostic analysis, we talk about going deep. like, okay, this company is actually making the current income or the current revenue for the company is $200 million, and last year we made $300 million. So that means this year it was lesser, or it is lesser this year. So what actually happened? That's the question that diagnostic analysis is going to ask. What happened? So like, why are we in this current situation? So that is just the question. Diagnostic analysis is just like going deep. It's just like a doctor. When a doctor says that, okay, we need to diagnose this patient. So it's just like going deep to know, like, okay, what is the cause of this situation? So that is diagnostic analysis. Then the third one is predictive analysis. This one is familiar. It's just about forecasting what is going to happen in the future.
Mr. Sarumi,
Yeah, I'll round up.
please. Thank you. Take your
Yeah.
time. All right.
So the predictive analysis is just about forecasting what is going to happen in the future, but based on historical data. So then the last one is prescriptive analysis. So when we talk about prescriptive analysis, we are talking about prescribing what is going to prescribing what the company should do. It's just like giving the company alternative solution on what to do. So let's say, okay, just like telling the company, probably we should do this, probably we should include discounts, maybe sales is going to increase, or probably we should close this segment because it is incurring loss. So prescriptive analysis is just giving solution to problem, because when you are done with all your analysis, you have to give solution. The main the end goal of your analysis is to solve a problem. So when you are done, you have to prescribe, you have to give a solution to the company. So those are the types of data analysis that we have. Then lastly, this should be the last one. We are going to talk about the data analyst tools, and here we have the common tools, because we have so many tools as a data analyst. But the thing is that it's not about the tools, it's about what you can do. Because what Power BI is going to do, Tableau also is going to do it. But the thing is that if you are good with Power BI, then if pick up another tool, in few time you are just going to get to know it well. So these are the tools you should at least the common tools that we use in data analysis. We have Microsoft Excel, we have Microsoft Power BI, we have Tableau, we have the SQL language, we have Python, we have R, we have IBM Cognos, we have SAP Analytics and SAS Analysis. We have a lot more. We have a lot more, to be honest. But these are like few, just to mention few. So I think I'm going to end the class, and I'm going to end the section here now. So Tolu, are you in class?
Yeah. All right. So thank you for that session. Thank you. Did we really enjoy this last session? Do we have questions about this session that we want to ask? I'm just going to take 2 questions for this session. Do we have questions? Okay, I guess we do not have. Okay.
Yes,
So,
I have a question, sir.
okay, that's one. Someone else, last person.
Should I go on,
I have
sir?
a question too.
Can I ask my question?
Wait, Mr. Abiodun, then who is the second person?
I have a question, Mike.
Okay, Mr. Mike. Okay, 2 people. All right. So, for Mr. Abiodun, you can move ahead. Mr. Abiodun?
Hello, yes, sir.
Yeah, you can ask the questions.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So, I would say that I've been enjoying the class so far since the commencement. It has really been an impacting moment. Though we might not have even gone far. Although we've not gone that far, but I really appreciate the teaching from our tutor teacher. So my question actually is that though I know I've actually applied for a lot of online programs relating to data analysis. So, but all of a sudden, I just saw this email on my, this message on my email recently. So I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what it is. So I don't know the origin. So I was just thinking you could actually maybe shed a little more light to who is giving us the presentation, because honestly, I don't have an idea. I'm just in this meeting. I don't know who is giving us the presentation.
Okay, I guess you actually came in late because we've actually introduced ourselves before we started the class. I mean, when we started the class, this is data line analytics and consulting. So for you to be on our email list, you must have actually signed up one time or the other to our list or some of our programs. So we have your information on our database. So that was why you received the mail concerning the class. And thank God you are actually enjoying the class. All right. So this is data line. So more information will come uh, later in the class, but for now, let's just move on. Are you fine with that, sir?
Yes, I'm very okay. Thank you very
All
much.
right. So, Mr.
Thank you,
Mike.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's have a question.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Let me start by appreciating the data line
Please,
team.
you just have 1 minute, please, because of time. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Thank you the data line team for this project, for this program. I think straight to the point. I'm an HR professional. I'm trying to go into data analysis and field, trying to divert a little. But I want to I know how to use Excel to an extent, but is the Q and the SQL and the Python that I'm having challenge with. But in data analysis, I want to know the first thing, like you said, for us to get what we want to get the result is asking the right questions. So how do you ask the right questions, and how do you get to know the data that you fetch out that will give you that will answer those questions? That is my question. That is my question, please.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sarami, can you supply an answer in 1 minute?
Okay, yeah. For you to ask the right question, normally before you start any analysis, that means when you get the data. Oh, sorry, before you start any analysis, that means probably you want to solve the problem. So the problem you want to solve is like the question you have to ask. Like I said earlier, if the company is getting low sales, so that means the company must ask the question, why are we getting low sales? So that would be the question in that aspect. So if as an HR professional now, if staffs are leaving, the analysis you want to do is that why is staffs leaving my company? So based on that, then you have to gather the data that is going to help you to answer the question. So probably you can just bring up the data like, okay, do we have more of people in a particular department leaving? So that means you have to get the department of each employee, or probably you have to get the salary range. Okay, the people that are leaving, are we paying them low salaries? So that means you have to get the salary data. Then probably when they are leaving, most likely you send I think you send HR send like a question form to know how everything is or to know why they are leaving. So you can also look into that and okay, get those forms back and look at why are people leaving based on what the staff said. Then you can also look into, is it a particular department or is it a particular salary range people that are leaving, or is it that people are getting tired? That means probably they have been in my position for so long, and that is why they feel like they want to explore. So depending on your question, that will lead you to the data set you have to get.
Okay, sir. Thank you
All
very much.
right. Thank you for that, Mr. Sarami. All right. So very quickly, we are moving to the next session now, which will be on a practical session on Excel. Microsoft Excel. All right. So, Miss Abigail is supposed to take us on this session, but she's not currently available. So, uh, Mrs. Arami will still, take on the session. So, Mrs. Arami, are you ready for the Excel part?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So let's dive into it. So after this, we'll have our first speaker of the day, Mr. Bimola. So let's anticipate. All right. So Mr. Saril, over to you.
Okay, thank you everyone. So like Tolu said, Miss Abigail is supposed to take this class, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I will have to just take over. But I'm not the Excel tutor. I'm just for Power BI. So, but for the purpose of this webinar, I'm going to take the class. So okay, we sent a data set to the group, and if you want to work through, or if you want to also follow what I'm doing, you can just open the data set in your Microsoft Excel. So now to start with, this is a Microsoft Excel. Like like the name implies, it's a Microsoft software, and it is one of the most used software, let me say, in organizations these days, because as a person not knowing to use a Microsoft Excel is going to probably limit sometimes actually, because Microsoft Excel has a lot to offer. Then coming down to data analysis now, Microsoft Excel has a lot more to offer, because when I speak to some people, they'll be like, I want to learn data analysis. Well, what should I do? Then I'd be like, okay, do you know how to use a Microsoft Excel to analyze data? And they will be like, I know how to use Microsoft Excel now. Now I'll be like, I'm not asking if you know how to use it. I'm asking if you know how to use it to analyze data, because most people tend to see Microsoft Excel as normal stuff. It's just this spreadsheet now, Abby. But it has a lot more to offer, because we have so many functions, so many formulas, so many things we can do with Microsoft Excel, like so many. And trust me, when I tell you that Microsoft Excel can do a lot of things other business intelligence software can actually do. But just that Microsoft Excel is limited to the amount of data you can analyze on it. But and also it might take time for you to achieve some things on it. So that is why we recommend that, okay, you use Power BI, you use Python, you use R sometimes. But the fact is that Microsoft Excel can also do most of these things. But the thing is, it is limited. But the fact is that it has a lot to offer. It has a lot to offer. So for this webinar now, we are just going to focus on pivot tables and pivot charts. So we have a lot in, like I said, we have a lot in Microsoft Excel. We have the functions, we have the formulas, we have so many things we can do. But for this webinar, we are going to focus on pivot tables. So can anyone just give us overview of pivot table, like just in 30 seconds? If you have used pivot tables before, just give us what it does and its usefulness. 30 seconds. Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike speaking. I think pivot table is used for data analysis, to analyze data, and then enables us to draw a dashboard that will illustrate or present reports of data that we have analyzed.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Mr. Mike. I really appreciate it. So, like Mr. Mike said, it is used for data analysis. Yes, pivot tables, pivot charts is one of the most used feature of of Microsoft Excel now for analysis, because it helps you to summarize your data. It helps you to get insights from your data, and that is what we are going to focus on now. So this is our data set. We have the row ID, we have the order ID, that is the identification number for each order. So just imagine when you go to ShopRite or when you go to any supermarket, you making an order, they are going to give you an order ID. So this is like the order column for that. Then we have the order date. The order date is when you actually ordered for a product. The ship date is when the product was shipped to the customer. Then the ship mode is the mode of shipping. So in this one, we have the first class. We have the first class. We have the same day, that is shipped on the same day. We have the second class, and we have the standard class. So then we have the customer ID. That is the identification number for each customer. So then we have each customer's name. We have customer segments, which in this customer segments, we have the consumer segments, we have the corporate segments, and we have the home office segments. So these are the segments we have for our customers. Then we have the country of sales. So the country of the customer, where the customer is residing. I think we have a lot of countries here. So we are going to work with that. We have the regions also. So we can see Africa, Canada, and EMEA. So a lot of regions here also. Then this is the product ID. So the ID of the product you actually purchased is what's meant by product ID, the identification number of the product you purchased. Then we have the category, which is the product category. So when we look into this, we are going to see that we have the furniture category, the office supply category, and we have the technological category. Please, let's move if we are not talking so we can get a lot from this. So, and if you want to follow through with what I'm doing, please load your data set as I'm still trying to still trying to explain this data set. So we have the category, then under this category, we have the subcategory. So when you look into this, you are going to see that we have so many subcategories. We have the accessories, we have the appliances, and we have a lot of other subcategories here also. Then we have the name of the product itself. The name of the product itself. So these that I've been saying since are categorical variables. We call them categorical variables because they are like describing our company, or they are describing our customer, or they are describing our products. So we call them categorical variables, or we call them descriptive variables. So now moving on, you can see that the next thing we have here is sales. So these are our numerical variables. So the sales revenue, or sales or revenue in this case now. So the revenue generated from the sales of this particular product is $408.3. Let's use dollars in this case now. Then the quantity is 2, you can see. Then the discount is 0. This discount now is in form of percentage. So when you look at it, we have 0 discounts, we have 0.002 discount. So then we have 0.1, which is 10% discount, like that. So they are in form of percentage. Then we have the profits. We have the profit also. Then we have the shipping cost, which is the cost of shipping to the customer. Then we have the order priority. So this order priority is just talking about when you order a product, you can say the priority is high, meaning that you need the product urgently. Or you can say the priority is critical, meaning that you need the product like now. I need the product like now, like very urgent. Then we also have the low priority, meaning that okay, you can just send it anytime you want to send it, but I actually need this product. So that's just the description of the data set we want to work with in this case. So now to start with, we said we want to work with pivot tables. So now let's see. I mentioned earlier that you need to have a question. You need to define a question. So in this case now, since we are not in that company, so no, we don't know the problem they're actually facing. So in this case, we are just going to do descriptive analysis of this data set. So let me open the question we are going to work with now. Okay. So this is the question we are going to work with in this case. And let me go back to this is the data sets we are going to use. So the question says that as the newly employed, so are we ready? We are starting already. We are starting already. Then Tolu, please be watchful of time. When it is getting close, just tell me so I will know when to round up.
You have 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
10. Wow.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of,
Okay.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
let's say
Okay.
15 minutes max, but 10 minutes. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. So this is the situation now. As a newly employed data analyst intern, so you are still an intern, so they're just going to give you some little project to work on. So it says that to get you started on your training, you have been assigned your first task of answering relevant questions to know the current state of the company in terms of revenue and profit generation. So in this case now, um, when we talk about revenue, we're also referring to sales. In this case, our sales is our revenue. So just take note of that. So it says that analyze the data set given and answer the following questions. So the first question that we have here is that we should show the monthly trend. But before we answer this question, let's see our pivot table interface. So for you to call on a pivot table in Microsoft Excel, what you're going to do is to move to your insert ribbon here. So this is your insert ribbon here, or the tab here. So this is it up here. So you can see it properly. So this is insert. Click on insert. Then you're going to see pivot table to the left. At the left side of your screen, you're going to see pivot table. So just click on pivot table. So when you click on pivot table, it is going to pop up a box now, or a page now in this case. And sorry, let me do it again. So just click on pivot table. But before you click on pivot table, make sure your cursor or the selected cell is in the data set that you want to use. So you can see that my cursor here, the selected cell I'm using now is here. So make sure that it is there so that it can pick up the data set once. So now, like I said, click on this pivot table. Then you can see that you have an option here. It says that select a table or range. So automatically it has selected this data set that I want to use. And the name is sales. The name of this table is sales. So now that's that about that. Then the second one says that choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. So if I want it on this existing worksheet, I'm going to click on existing worksheet. But if I want it on a new worksheet entirely, I'm going to click on new worksheet, which is actually selected in this case. So we don't need to click on location because we are working with a new worksheet. Then the third one is choose whether you want to analyze multiple tables. But in this case, we only want to analyze one table. So we don't need to tick this box. So now you're just going to click on the new worksheet and then click on OK. So when you click on OK, you can see your new worksheet here. So I'm going to rename this to question 1. So to rename, you just double click on this worksheet name. Just double click here and then rename it to question 1. So now this is our pivot table interface. This is our pivot table interface, as you can see here. And also this is it here. So very quick, let me just explain this. So this, when you look at what we have in this box, you are going to see that we have our columns, starting from the row ID, order ID, and orders. These are the columns we have in our table year. So it is being imported into this pivot table. So this is what we are going to work with. So basically, how we work with pivot table is just to drag and drop, drag and drop. That's what we are going to be doing. Then we have our fields here. We have our fields here. The filter pane is just used to filter out data sets you don't want. But we're not going to go deep into that for now. Then the rows is just to put your data in rows. You know, when we talk about rows, we're talking about something like this. Put it in rows, like the different rows. So then the column is talking about putting your data in different column, like something like this, straight like this, horizontal. Then the values actually works with numerical data. So the likes of sales, likes of profit, that is what you are going to put here, unless you want to count something. But we'll still talk about that. So basically, values work with numerical columns, unless you want to count a value. Then the columns basically work with descriptive data, the likes of ship mode, segments, customer name, like I said earlier, descriptive, categorical or descriptive data. So very fast, we are going to start with the question. We won't take a lot of time here. So the first question says that show the monthly trend of revenue for the company and determine which month is favorable and otherwise. So we want to show the monthly trend of revenue for the company. Then after that, we want to determine which month has been favorable and which month has not been favorable. So basically, what the question here, the problem we want to solve here is just to show the monthly trend of revenue, then determine which month has the highest and which month has the lowest revenue. That's what we just want to do. So for you to do that, you know, like I said, you have to gather your data. So now we have our data already. We've gathered all our data already. So now, but the thing, what you have to do now is to now say, okay, do I have the data I want to work with in the data set I have? So when you look at it, we want to look at the monthly trend of revenue. So that means we are going to be working with dates, and also we are going to be working with revenue. So now looking at our data now, do we have dates and revenue in our data? So, and yes, we do. Yes, we do. So this is our order date to determine the trend, the monthly trend of revenue. Then we also have our sales column, which is going to serve as our revenue, like I said earlier. So now in this case, we have the required data to carry out this analysis. So that means we are good to go. But in a case in which you don't have the data, that means you have to sort for the data. You have to source for the data. So now let's just start with what we want to do. So very fast, what we are going to do, like I said, pivot table is all about drag and drop.
Mr. Sarami?
Yeah.
I guess you'll be able to do two questions only because of the time. So just pick the two most important questions we can do.
Okay, no problem. So I said it's about drag and drop. So what we are just going to do is to drag your dates to either the column or the row. You know, I said the column or the row majorly accepts descriptive data or categorical data. So when we drag it to the column, to the row now, you can see what we have here. We have 2011, 2012, 2014. So it has grouped our dates already. Then you can also click on this to expand it. You can see by quarter. Then you can also click on this quarter. Then you can see by months. So now I'm going to just collapse everything and focus on what we want to achieve, because the question says that we want to achieve monthly trend of revenue. So for us to achieve this, we are going to bring in our revenue, which is our sales in this case. And I said this will our value pane, our values pane now accepts our numerical data. So we are going to drag this to our value because it is a numerical data. That is what we are dealing with. So when we drag it to it, you can see what we have here. So now it has helped us to summarize. The sum of sales by year. So you can see that for each year we are having the sum of sales. So we are still going to format this properly, but we've not gotten to our destination of monthly distribution of revenue. So now get to monthly distribution of revenue. When you look at this row, you're going to see that we have the years, we have the quarter, then we have the order dates. So for us to be able to achieve monthly revenue, we are going to drag out these years first. So like this, we are going to click on it, then drag it out. You can see, so that means we don't have our year again. When you look at what we have here, you're going to see that we are all having quarter now. We don't have the year again. So the same way, we are also going to drag out these quarters. So now drag this out, then we are left with order dates. So let's look at what we have. So now you can see that we have our monthly distribution of revenue. So this is how to solve the question. But this is not actually formatted properly, because the best thing is to present your data well so that the user can understand. So I'm going to select everything here, and I'm going to move to my home button, and I'm going to format it as currency, because we're dealing with currency in this case. So I'm going to click on currency. Then at least with this, you can see which one is, at least you can get the value of which one is higher and which one is lower, though you might not really get it now. So the next thing we're just going to do is just to create a chart from this. So for you to create a chart from this, make sure you are clicked in this pivot table, then go to go to pivot table analyze. When you click on pivot table analyze, or probably you might see analyze in your own Excel, because I'm using 365, that's why I'm having pivot table analyze. So then you can click on pivot charts. So that means we want to convert this our pivot table to pivot charts. So I'm going to click on pivot chart now, and we are going to see what we have. So we have series of charts we can use here, but for what you want to achieve, you must actually use the best chart to achieve it. Because when we are looking at the trend of a data, it is not right for you to use a column chart. We are still going to talk about this in our cohort properly. The right chart to use when you are conducting your analysis. So when you're looking at the trend of a data set, the right chart to use is your line chart. Your line chart is the best fit to use. So you can see the trend, you can see which one is coming down, which one is going up, and like that. So now I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on OK. So this is our chart. So from this chart now, you can easily identify the month that has the lowest revenue and the month that has the highest revenue. So I'm supposed to throw it to the public or to the audience, but because of our time, you can see that February actually has the lowest revenue in this case. Why the highest revenue is from December, though it is very close to November. The amount is very close to November, but December has the highest amount of revenue for this particular company. So this is how to solve that particular problem. This is how to solve the question using a pivot table in combination with a pivot chart. So the next thing now is, I think this should be the last one I'm going to do because of our time. Okay, I'm going to pick the fourth question, which says that identify the top 3 valuable customers by revenue and by profits. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I've picked the third one. I think the third one should be direct. So the third one says that the CEO needs to know the top 5 countries in terms of revenue generation for the company. So the question here is just trying to say, okay, now I want to look at I want to identify the top 5 countries where the company is generating most of their revenue. So probably they want to focus on those countries and look at how they can explore the countries further and get more revenue from the country. Or probably they will just want to look at, okay, they are giving us a lot of revenue. Are they also giving us a lot of profit? You get, We can actually do a lot of analysis with this. But let's just let's just analyze the question that we have here, which says that we want to look at the top 5 countries in terms of revenue. So that's the question. So the second step now is, okay, gather the data. So in this case, do we have the data we need? And when you look at the question, you're going to see we're talking about revenue. Okay, good. We have the sales column, so that is settled. Then the second column we are going to need here is the country column. So now, do we have the country column in our analysis, or sorry, in our data set? So when you look at it, you can see that we have the country. You can see that we have the country column here. So that means we are good to go. We can conduct our analysis. So I'm going to move back to my data set, and like we created our first pivot table, we are going to click on Insert, then Pivot Table here, and then we want to put this on a new worksheet. So we're going to click on OK and rename this to question 3, Q3. So this is actually straightforward. What we are just going to do is to drag our country column to our rows. So when we drag it to our rows, you are going to have your countries there. So you can see that we have a lot of countries. So, but out of these countries that we have here, we want to get the top 5 countries in terms of revenue. So the next thing we are going to do is to get our revenue column, which is our sales column, and drag it to our values. So when you drag it to your values, you are going to see the revenue for each country. So you can see that Afghanistan is having over $21,000. So now we have to format this properly because that is how you present your data well. So I'm going to select everything and I'm going to change it to currency so you can see what we have here. So, but we are not done. The question says that we want to look at the top 5. So for us to look at the top 5, what you are going to do is to filter. So now you are having your filter button here. This is your filter button in case you want to filter. So this icon we're having here is your filter button. So what you're going to do is to click on your filter button. So click on your filter button, then you are going to see this box or these options. So now in this case, we want to filter based on value because we said we want to get the top 5 countries in terms of revenue. Since we are looking at want to see those countries that have the highest revenue. So that means we are going to look at value filter because it is based on the revenue that they have. So now what you are going to do is to click on this value filter, then now come down here, you're going to see top 10. So we are going to select this top 10 and then you are going to see a box here. So in case you want to change it to bottom, you can change it to bottom here. But our question says that top. We want to look at the top 10. So, but in this case, sorry, we want to look at the top 5. But in this case, we're having the top 10. So what you're just going to do is
round off.
I'll be done now. So what you're just going to do is to change this to 5 and then want to filter by item and sum of sales. And you're going to click on OK. So automatically, it is going to help you to generate the top 5 countries by revenue. So you can look at the countries here. We have Australia, we have China, we have France, we have Germany, we have United States. So very easily, we can identify the top 5 countries with the most revenue. And again, you can also sort this. So you can get the country with the highest revenue. Then you can see that US has the highest revenue with over $2 million, followed by Australia and the rest. So this also we can very quick convert it to a chart by clicking on Analyze and clicking on our pivot chart. So we can just use our column chart in this case and just click on OK. Then you can see the distribution of this revenue by countries. So actually, you can also attempt this question, at least based on what I've done. You can also look at the questions that we have, then you can attempt it yourself. Then when you are done creating these charts and analyzing your data, we talked about presenting it in a way in which the user is going to understand. So now from this data, I was able to create a dashboard. I don't even we have the time, we should have created something like that, but though it is going to take a lot of time. But I'm going to show you the dashboard we created. Let me save this now. So from this data, I'm going to show you the dashboard we created, which is this. Let me open it now. So a minute now. So after conducting my analysis, my descriptive analysis, I was able to come up with a dashboard, which I'm going to show you now. So this is the dashboard I created from this analysis. So you can have a feel of it. You can see the total revenue, the total profit, everything here. You can see the distribution of revenue monthly. Then you can see the top 3 valuable customers. And also you have the slicers here. So in case you want to see for 2013, you can click on it and it is going to change. In case you want to see for 2014, you can click on it and it is going to show you for 2014. In case you want to see for the critical order priority, you can see everything is changing because it is an interactive dashboard. So this is actually showing for Canada. Sorry, for Africa, you can see that Africa is selected here. Then in case you want to see for Canada, you can click on Canada and it is going to show you everything. It is an interactive dashboard actually. And also in case you want to hide your filter, let's say you are done with your slicer, and in case you want to hide it, you can just click on this filter pane and it is going to hide it for you. So you are going to have this. So I created all this in Excel. So this is what you can achieve with Excel, and much more you can achieve with Excel. Excel is actually underrated for me. I feel people really underrate Excel, but the people that knows the value of Excel do not underrate Excel because they know it actually has a lot to offer. So this is what you can do with it. This is
All
how you
right.
can present your dashboard. So I'm going to call up the section.
Thank you for that, Mr. Sarumi. Thank you for the session. Did we enjoy the session, this Excel session? I'm sure many of the things that happened, that I did, weren't able to follow through because of the time. But don't worry, if you're going to join the course that will start next month, we'll have ample time. So for the question, yeah, we'll send it to the group. Don't worry. So if you want to practice along with the question, we'll send it to the group and then you can practice with it. But we'll not send this dashboard to the group. This one that we created, we only send it to the people that people that join the course for next month, or we will send you the question. So the next session now is going to be our guest speaker, one of our guest speakers for today, Mrs. Abimola. She's going to actually take over from here. Mrs. Abimola, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Let me try to share my screen first.
Okay.
I'm coming. Okay. Can we see my screen? Can we see my screen?
Very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on my screen? I want to be sure we
Abimbola.
see this. Okay. So she's currently running MSc program in Poland, and she has a BSc in accounting. She's a Nigerian. Like her name is a Nigerian name. She's a Yoruba person, so it's not as if she's from Poland. She's Tiwantiwa. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. So she was part of the people that we trained last cohort too, and we are privileged to have her here in our midst. So she's going to speak with us on the opportunities that are available in data analysis outside Nigeria. All right, so Mr. Bimola, over to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be sharing my screen now.
Okay, let me stop sharing then.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Can you see my screen now for my
Yes, we
PowerPoint
can.
presentation?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abimbola Adetono. I'll be talking about the various opportunities that are open to data analysts, both locally and internationally. Firstly, I would like to appreciate the coordinators of this training for this opportunity to make this presentation. So, as we all know, data science is that thing that everyone is talking about nowadays, and that's what everybody wants to do right now. Well, it's not so easy to define data science or data analytics because it's so broad. But briefly, I would like to say a few things about myself, how I was able to change my career path from accounting to data analytics. So the first question is, how did I become a data scientist? I rather call myself a finance data analyst. And the reason why I would say that is because I have a combination of both financial knowledge and IT technical skills. So why did I change my career path after studying accounting for my national diploma and my bachelor's degree, and now moved to data analytics? One thing I would like us to understand is we need to possess some knowledge and capability to be able to proclaim ourselves as something. You cannot just come out there after this cohort and say, tomorrow, by tomorrow, now I'm a data analyst. It doesn't work that way. You need to possess the basic knowledge. You need to have the skills to be able to say, okay, I'm a data analyst. Normally, we do take this by taking maybe 4 to 5 years education in a field, as most of us are in Nigeria. But there are ways to be part of some fields like data analyst without studying it at the university. And that's the most exciting thing about this career. So what did I do? I studied a lot about data analytics. So it all started in 2018. I recently relocated to Lagos with my husband, and I have a baby. And I was just at home because I had to resign from my work. I was living in Kwara State before I relocated to Lagos, and then I was working in a bank, Guarantee Trust Bank. So I had to resign from my work. Of course, because for people that live in Lagos, you know how crazy Lagos can be. I was working in bank, and my husband too was working in a bank. So we could not manage the home properly. So of course, I had to resign. And I was looking for a work that would give me time for myself and also for my family. So I started, while I was at home with my baby, I downloaded some videos on Excel and Power BI. I was watching and just learning on my own. But of course, there are so many questions you ask, and because they are pre-recorded videos, you won't be able to ask the questions. So one day I decided to, okay, let me enroll for a course online, a physical class that I can attend and ask so many questions that I have. I enrolled for a course in Lagos State. My husband came home and told me about the course. He saw it on LinkedIn and all. I enrolled for the course and I went for the class. I was supposed to learn Power BI and SQL. And as at that time, I don't have any knowledge about SQL. As a matter of fact, I don't even know the full meaning then. So when my husband came home and told me about the course, of course, I have basic knowledge of Power BI, but SQL, I don't know anything about it. And I was just like, I don't think I want to do this thing. I'm an accountant. This is what I've been doing for years. I don't think I'm ready to learn anything new. I'm not a science person. I don't think I'm going to find it very easy to be able to comprehend all this coding, all this programming and all. But he encouraged me and I went for the training. Fortunately for me, the first class was a big mess up for me because when I got to the training, a lot of people that came for the training already have knowledge about SQL and Power BI. So everything they were saying in the class, I was alone in my world. It was as if I wasn't part of the class. Of course, I sent a mail to the organizer of the program before attending that, okay, I don't have prior knowledge about this thing. How can I go about it? I hope you guys are starting from the foundational level. And they said, of course. But I was shocked when I got there, and at the end of 6 weeks, I didn't get value for my money. I could not comprehend everything they were saying. I had to sleep very late at night to be able to meet up with the classes, but I just couldn't understand it. And at that time, I have started developing interest in it, and I really do not know what to do. And I really want to learn. And that was when I started working on my LinkedIn, checking how the people I can meet to talk to. Unfortunately for me, and that was when I met one of the coordinators of Dataline Consulting, Mr. Daniel Sarumi. And over the years, he has been so supportive. He put me through a lot of things on Power BI, explained so many things to me. At that point, I started developing the interest. I was like, okay, this is what I really wanted. So apart from being a data analyst, like we all know, there are so many fields under data analytics. I really wanted something more than that, more than data analytics. So I was like, okay, let me go into data science. And what does data science mean? It means I have to know a little bit or more of coding, programming languages like R, Python, SAS, and all. Of course, I can actually learn that online or through physical classes, but I wanted something more. I wanted international opportunities. Of course, we all know it's not so easy to get jobs in Nigeria, even within the country, not to talk of outside the country, especially when you don't have experience in that field. So I thought, what can I do to get these international opportunities? So I applied for my master's in advanced analytics. And the good thing about studying abroad for this course is, the good thing is you don't have to have, you don't need to have prior knowledge about it. Most schools abroad, they understand the fact that, so this is a new field and so many people are just trying to come into the field to understand how it works. So they are taking a whole lot of people from different backgrounds. For example, in my department, I have people that studied Greek, people that study physics, people that study food science, management, accounting, banking, and finance. I can say maybe it's just 2 or 3 people that studied computer science during their undergraduates. So this is to let you know that when you learn this thing, there are so many opportunities for you, even when it comes to academics. When you want to study abroad, there are so many schools that even give scholarship if you are coming to study data science. Because according to IBM, that's International Business Machine, it has been discovered that we have a lot of, there is more demand. There's more demand of professionals of data analytics than the supply we have. So the whole world the world as a whole is trying to bring in people to learn the career, because that is the new oil now. So that is just a brief introduction of how I changed my career path from being an accountant to being a data analyst. So the coordinators have already defined what data analytics is, so I really don't know, I have to go through that again. So I'd like to also talk about the types of job that requires knowledge of data analytics. Because of time, I will not be able to explain so deeply about each of them, but business intelligence analyst, data science, we need to understand one thing. All these are different in a way, but they are related in another way. For you to be able to call yourself a business intelligence analyst, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, there are some basic tools you need to know, which is number 1, Excel. You need to know Power BI, you need to know SQL, and one or more programming tool like R, Python, SAS, and so on. And I will say it's a good thing that you guys have joined this webinar to be able to learn more, because I believe that you will really get value if you enroll for the course. I was part of the cohort for the last month, and I can tell you I really learned. Even in my school, there's a limit to how your teacher can teach you, can take you on some things. But with Dataline, they take you in depth like a baby, like you don't know anything about it. Even after the class, you can always go back to them and ask questions, and they're always very supportive. So for all of these jobs, this career, there are, like I've mentioned, all the basic tools you need to know are what Dataline will be teaching you in the next cohort. So for data analysts, it doesn't matter your background. Even if you studied Yoruba during your undergraduate, I'm very sure if you have passion for it, that's the number one thing. You need to have passion for it. If you have passion for it, it will be so easy for you to integrate into the system very well. So next, I'll be talking about, like I mentioned earlier, data science is actually related and different in a way from data analytics. So what are the skills you need to have in order to be able to explore the various opportunities that are open to you, both locally and internationally? So for data science, you need to have computer science, you need to know about machine learning, that's deep learning, you need to know about software development, you need to know about big data software too, algorithm development. For people that's just starting their career in data analysis, so of course, this is like the next level after data analytics. What you'll be starting with is data analytics skills, which is data analysis software like Excel, data management system, for example, SQL, business intelligence tool, that's Microsoft Power BI, then data visualization tool like Microsoft Power BI or Excel as well. So in between here, you have the overlapping skills. Of course, like Mr. Daniel mentioned earlier, when you know one tool, it's so easy to learn another one. So basically, you need to have basic statistical analysis knowledge. You need to know about programming languages like Java, Python, R, and SQL. You need to know about data mining and modeling. You need to have problem solving skills. You need to be able to tell your story through, you need to be able to explain your data through storytelling to a non-technical audience. What I mean by that is when you make, when you analyze data, it's not just about analyzing. When you make the report, even someone that does not have knowledge about data analysis should be able to interpret what you are saying, just like the dashboard that was shown to us a few minutes ago. Even somebody that does not know anything about Excel, just looking at it, you'll be able to understand so many things from the dashboard. And that is one of the things that make you a data analyst. So why should you choose a career in data analytics or data science? Like I've mentioned earlier, data science and data analytics are two, buzzword of the year that everybody's talking about. I want to be a data analyst today. And now data is more than oil to the industry. And that's the new slang. Data is the new oil, even in oil and gas industry. And according to IBM, the number of jobs for data professionals in the US will increase to 2,720,000 by 2021, which means that the demand for data analytics professional currently outweighs the supply. And that means that companies are ready to pay premium to fill in this job position. So what are the major reasons why you need to choose a career in data analytics? Number one is very high average salaries. For example, in Poland, as a data analyst, for junior data analyst, you earn between 4,500 zloty to 7,500 zloty, and that is equivalent to like 480,000 Nigerian money to 750 for entry level in Poland here. So not to now talk of, and now when you go for interviews, I've had interviews with some companies, and they really don't want to know about my educational background. What they want to know is, can you use SQL? Can you work on Power BI? Can you use Excel? They give you questions to work on. And if you are good at that, then that is all. You really don't have to, you don't really have to have like a master's degree or university. You can just be a diploma holder, maybe national diploma, ND or HND. Then you know all these things. I can guarantee you that the kind of job you will get, even people that have PhD in Nigeria, maybe PhD in English, PhD, I don't want to say so much about other courses, but you can be sure that you will get a good job with a high salary. So now another point is it's a fast growing industry with skilled workers in demand. So to explain this, I would like to tell us that data analysts are not restricted to a particular industry. You can work anywhere. As a matter of fact, data analyst is required for every company, operating company all over the world. Be it a factory, a manufacturing organization, a service providing, every company needs at least one data analyst. And that is why you need to really choose a career in this part. Then there are lots of room for career advancements. Each day you get to learn more. There are so many tools that are being developed on a daily basis. So you get to advance your career. Then one good thing I like about this, which is one of my major reasons for choosing this career, is the working flexibility. You get to work from home. Of course, this is not applicable for every organization or country, but for most developed countries, you don't have to be in the office to work. Once you're at home, they give you the project to work on. You can do your work from anywhere. You don't have to be. And of course, most of us we like our how do I put it? We like our comforts. So most of us will rather prefer to work from home than to be going to the office. For most of us that are living in Nigeria, in Lagos, most especially, the traffic and all. As a data analyst, you get to work from home. Of course, not for all the companies, just for, but most companies operate from home. Then you have lots of great learning resources. It is easier than ever to learn everything you need to get a job in data analyst from the comfort of your home. Just like you are learning how. You are just logged on and you are learning about data analysts and all. Unlike when you want to learn, let's say catering or some skills that requires you to be physically present there. You need to see how it is being done. With this, you can actually learn from home, from the comfort of your home. You are just seated, you are watching, and you get along with what is being explained to you. Then the next point is very few mandatory qualification. Like I've mentioned earlier. Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're really enjoying your class, but we have just 5 minutes more for the session.
Okay, I'm just on the last slide.
I'm just on the last slide. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So like I've mentioned earlier, it's just they are not looking for your bachelor's degree or your master's. Just know the skills. That's it. So how do I get a job as a data analyst? Number one is to acquire the skill needed, which I've explained before. You need to know the basic things, the basic tools and the technologies that you need. Then you have to have a winning CV or resume. This is actually, I cannot explain all of this within the time that is left, but you need to there's a way you need to structure your CV for people that have background in other career. There's a way you need to structure your CV when you are shifting in a way to data analysis. So you need to change the way you write your CV or your resume. Then most importantly, you need to work on your LinkedIn profile. I would advise that after taking this class, for most of us that want to enroll for the paid class, when you finish, even before you finish, most of the class assignments that we assign to you, when you work on it, upload it on your LinkedIn page, recruiters will reach out to you. Because it will show, they will see that, okay, this is what this person is doing, this is what you are learning. You don't have to wait till you finish. Of course, you even see people that want, okay, oh, is this what you are doing now? Oh, there's an opening. So you need to work on your LinkedIn profile. And at the end, when you get your certificate, of course, you definitely need to upload it on your LinkedIn profile. So because of time, I will just have to round up now. Thank you so much for
Thank you. We really enjoyed the class. Thank you for this. Everyone, everyone was what's the English word now? Flagaba. Sorry, don't let me say something here. Thank you for that, Ms. Abimbola. We really enjoyed your class. I mean, your session was really powerful. We
You're
actually
welcome.
really enjoyed that. And everybody in the comment section, everybody saying it was powerful, on fire. Let me read. All right, thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you. So the next session, we are going to do small practical on Power BI before we take on Mr. Yeboah. He's already around, man. It's going to be powerful. So let's just move on to Mr. Yeboah. You're welcome. Am I correct with the pronunciation?
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, your boy is right. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, so Mrs. Arumi, Mrs. Arumi, are you in class?
Yeah, I'm where with you. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, all right. So are you ready for Power BI?
Okay. Yeah, I am. And let me just
Okay,
open my
so
slide
let's
now.
let's just take a deep dive, quick. We are behind schedule already. Or
Yeah.
let's just work with this. All right, so you can share your screen.
Okay. A minute. Let me just open my. A minute now. Okay. Now, so we are moving into the Power BI practical section, and before we start with the practical section, I think we need to introduce what we mean when we talk about Power BI. So it is important. So, if you want to follow through with the practical, you can just open your Power BI application now because sometimes it takes time to start. So you can open it now and wait for me to explain. Okay, yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. So, when we talk about Power BI, what do we mean by Power BI? Power BI is actually a Microsoft software. This similar to Excel. Excel is a Microsoft software also. So Power BI is also a Microsoft software, and it is a business intelligence tool. You know, we said Power BI. So the BI at the back of Power, sorry, BI in the front of Power actually signifies business intelligence. So it is one of the most used tools used by data analysts recently now. I think Power BI is just 6 years old, but it is taking over the market already, kind of. Though we still have other powerful softwares. So it is a business intelligence tool used by data analysts. And what we use Power BI to do is to analyze our data. But when we talk about the process of conducting analysis, we mentioned that you must define your question, which is going to be personal to you. Then we also mentioned that you must get your data. So with Power BI, you can also connect to different sources. So let's say your data is in Excel format, you can connect your Power BI to it. Let's say your data set is in a database, you can connect your Power BI to it. Let's say your data set is in Google Analytics, you can connect. So it has different connectors that allows you to bring in your data set. So it is an analysis software that allows you to perform analysis. But before you perform analysis, you must first of all bring in your data. So Power BI is capable of helping you to do this. So now you remember when after bringing in your data, you have to clean it. So Power BI also has an application that helps you in cleaning your data, which we call the Power Query Editor. Um, the Power Query Editor specifically is used for data cleaning. So in case your data is dirty or you want to modify your data or anything you want to do to prepare your data, Power Query Editor is going to allow you to do this. So it's also part of Power BI. Then also for you to analyze your data, Power BI is there for you. It's an help you to perform descriptive analysis, diagnostic analysis, predictive and descriptive analysis, everything. So Power BI is like a full package for your analysis, for your business intelligence analysis. It has a lot of features that allows you to analyze your data easily just by clicking or by writing codes sometimes. Because for you to make use of Power BI fully, you might need to learn the coding aspect, but it's not that hard. So when you are done with your analysis, you remember we mentioned that you have to visualize it. So Power BI is also there for this. You can also use Power BI for visualization. Very, very easy to do it on Power BI compared to Excel, because majorly you design visuals in Power BI. So for you to visualize your data is very, very easy with Power BI. Then also when you're now done designing your visuals or designing your dashboard, Power BI now has another features which allow you to share insights across organizations. So let's assume that I'm in Nigeria now, and I have Yebua, I have Abimbola. Yebua is in US, Abimbola is in Poland, and we are working on a particular project together. Power BI allows you to collaborate together and work on a particular project. Then it also allows you to share your insights across organizations. So Power BI is like I said, is a full package for your data analysis. Is a full package for your data analysis. So now let's move to the core areas in Power BI. I've mentioned it already. For your data preparation, like I said, you're going to use a Power Query Editor. You are still going to see the interface. Don't worry. We're going to see the interface. Just a little introduction before we start with everything we want to do. So then you can perform your analysis on it. You can design your visuals and present your reports. Then you can share and collaborate with anyone you want to, even though you are not in the same organization or in the same location. So Power BI is going to help you to do this. Then when we talk of Power BI, we have 3 tool sets in Power BI. So just note this now. We have the Power BI desktop. If you are in the group, I think we sent some link for you to download your Power BI. So this is the Power BI desktop. The Power BI desktop is going to reside on your system. It is majorly what you are going to use to create your visuals and to analyze your data. That is the Power BI desktop. It will reside on your system. Then we have the Power BI service. For the Power BI service, you can also use it to create visuals. You can use it to design dashboard, though it is an online platform. So in case you don't have the desktop application on your system, you can also use the online platform, which is the Power BI service. Then the Power BI service has the sharing and collaboration feature. Though you can't actually share and collaborate on Power BI desktop. You have to move into your Power BI service, which is going to help you with that. Then we have the Power BI mobile, which you can download on your mobile phone. And the function of the Power BI mobile is just to view the reports we created. Please, let's mute our mic. Let's mute our mic, please. So, like I mentioned, we have 3 tool sets in Power BI. The Power BI desktop, which is going to reside in our system. We have the Power BI service, which is an online platform for sharing and collaboration, designing of visual. Then last one is the Power BI mobile, which is for viewing reports. In case you are not with your system and you're going out, you can always view your reports on your phone. So those are the tool sets we have in Power BI. So very quick, I'm just going to introduce you to the Power BI platform. So when you open your Power BI platform, this is what you're going to see first. So this is just this page is like an introduction page. So here you are going to see the data sets you have worked on, some of the data sets you have worked on. You are going to see some tutorials also here. Then you are going to see some features here also. So, but the thing is that we are going to just cancel exit this page now. So to do that, you are just going to click on this icon, this exit icon here. So, and I'm going to introduce you to the Power BI interface. So in Power BI, this is okay, now this is the Power BI desktop. Like I said, the one that is going to reside on your system. This is the Power BI desktop. So in Power BI desktop, we have 3 views. Just note this now. We have 3 views, and the first view is our report view. Our report view is where you are going to create your visual, where you're going to create your report, or where you're going to design your dashboard. Like where you're going to have your charts, your pie charts, your column charts, your maps. This is where you are going to have it. And this is our report view. Then also we have our second view. Sorry, for you to move to the second, this is our report view. For you to move to the second view, you are going to click on this table icon here. So this second view is our data view. And this is like, this is going to show our data in a spreadsheet format, just like we have it in Excel. This is going to have it here also, like in a spreadsheet format, like we have it in Excel. Then the last view is our model view. Our model view is where we create relationship between tables, because as a data analyst, you are going to work with several tables. Most times you're not going to work with a single table like we did with Excel. You're going to work with a lot of tables. So this is where you create interaction, where you create relationship between those tables. Imagine you're having the sales table now, then you're having another table which consists of the sales agent information, and you want to link it together to get how many, probably the sales of a particular sales agent. This is where you're going to create the relationship so you can get that result. So like I said, we have the report view, which is this, where you create your report, design your visual, design your dashboard. Then you have the data view, where you're going to see your data in a spreadsheet format, and also where you're going to do your calculations and everything you want to do, add column, create measures, do your calculation generally. You're going to do it in your spreadsheet, in your data view. Then finally, we have the model view, where you're going to create relationship between different tables that you're going to be working with. So now, like I said earlier, Power BI helps you to bring in your data. It helps you to bring in your data. So now we are just going to go straight to how to perform analysis on Power BI. Since I've done the introduction, so I'm going to show you how we can just quickly perform simple analysis on Power BI. So now to do that now, the first thing you have to do is to get the data you want to work with. And we sent data already. The retail sales is still the same data we're going to work with here. So Power BI can actually, like I said, it has a lot of connectors. If you want to connect to your Excel workbook, if you want to connect to a CSV file, your SQL server, your MySQL, PostgreSQL, any connector, it has a lot of connectors. So in Power BI, so it helps you to connect your data to your source. So now we want to connect our data to our Excel file. Don't forget, the file we sent is in Excel format. So for you to do this, you can either click on Get Data, then click on Excel workbook, meaning that you want to connect to an Excel workbook. So if you want to connect to an Excel workbook, just click on this. So we are going to click on this for this webinar. So when you click on this, it is going to take you to your file manager for you to select the data set you want to work with. So I'm going to locate where I have my data now. This is where my data is. for your on your own system, I don't know where you have your data, but just locate it and then select it. So this is my data, the retail sales. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to click on open. So when I click on open, Excel is going to connect this Power BI to the data set. So that is what it is doing. You can see it's the what we have here is connecting. Please wait while we establish a connection to retail sales data. So that is what it's actually doing now. So just okay now. So if you are following, just do everything saying, then understand everything I'm saying. So don't forget we we have different worksheets in our in our Excel workbook now. So these are the worksheets that we have. The sales one, which is the table. Then we have the sales, which is the worksheet. Then don't forget we created a two different worksheets, which is the question 1 and question 3, when we were working with when we were doing the practical section on Excel. So this is everything here. The question 1, when you click on it, you are going to see the data sets that we have there. So you can see that we have, if you remember, we analyzed our revenue by month. So this is it here. This is the worksheet here. Then when you look at the question 3 also, you are going to see, what we did there is the top 5 customers by sales. So this is it here. But the thing is that we are not dealing with that right now. What we want to deal with is the sales, the old data now. The old data that we have in our data set. That's what we want to deal with. So we are going to select this sales. We are going to select this sales worksheet. So when you select this now, you now have 3 options. So the options that you have is either to load this data directly to your Power BI desktop. So either to load the data directly to your Power BI desktop, or to transform your data. When we talk about transforming your data, we're talking about checking if your data is clean or you want to clean your data. So if you want to clean your data, you're going to click on this transform data, or you can actually cancel it. But in this case, we don't want to cancel. And also, we don't want to load directly. We want to see if our data is clean or not. So we are going to transform it to, we're going to transform our data, and we're going to click on this option. And don't forget, when I was when I was doing the introduction of Power BI, I said for data cleaning and preparation, it has a particular feature or a particular application, which is the Power Query Editor. So up here, you are going to see the name here, Power Query Editor. So this is the platform where we are going to do our cleaning, our preparation, and everything we want to do. So this is where you are going to do it. We can't start talking about the features there or the functions there because of the time. But actually, this data is clean. Then we have a lot of ways in which you can check if the data is clean, but we can't start doing that here. But in the cohorts, we are going to do all of this. We are going to touch all of this. So we have our data sets here. When you look at this, you can see that this is the same thing we when we're doing our Excel practical section. The same thing, the same data. So what we are just going to do, like I said, this data set is clean, so you don't need to worry about cleaning it. In the course, we're going to discuss how to identify, how to ensure that you know that your data is clean or not. So for this section now, what we are going to do is just to close and apply. That means you want to load it to your Power BI desktop. So like you are done with your cleaning, you are done with everything you want to prepare, you just want to start analyzing, or you want to model your data, you want to start analyzing. So what you are going to do is to click on this close and apply, and it is going to take us back to our Power BI desktop. So majorly what this platform we are now, what it is for is to clean our data. So what we are going to do is just to click on close and apply, and then it is going to load. You can see we are back to our Power BI desktop. So it is going to load this data into this Power BI desktop now. So that is what it is doing currently. You can see load, creating connection in model. So it is trying to load our data into Power BI desktop. And very fast, we're going to just do some analysis so we can see how it works. So a minute, it is still loading. You can see what we have here. I think the data set is like
Mr. Remy, you have about 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Oh, good. No
Yes.
problem. Okay. So my data set is still loading. So, okay, almost done now. Yay. So now we have our data set in our Power BI desktop now. So for you to see your data sets, or for you to know if you actually have your data sets here, you are going to look at few stuffs. So starting from our report view, don't forget this is our report view. So when you look at the field here, it is still loading here. Okay, yeah, good. When you look at the field pane here, this is our field pane, you are going to see the sales. So this is the worksheet. You know, our worksheet name is sales. So when you click on this icon to expand it, when you click on this icon, you are going to see our columns. The columns we have in our data set is going to be here. Everything is going to be here. So you can see everything. So this is how we are going to know that we have our data set in our Power BI desktop. Then also let's move to our data view. When we go to our data view, don't forget I said
Mr. Sorry, please. It's 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. Sorry. Just help us manage the time.
how many minutes?
10 minutes, 10 minutes, not
10
15
minutes.
minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I'll be done soon. Just to answer a few questions and we move. So this is our data view now. And yeah, this is it. You can see that we have it in a spreadsheet format, similar to what we have in Excel. So this is how it is going to display it for you. Then this is where we are going to perform our calculation in case you want to create a new column, want to create a new measure, a new table. This is where we are going to do it. Then lastly, we have our model view, and we can see that we have a table in our model view. Since we only have a table, that means we can't create connections between tables. For you to create connection between tables, you have to have two or more tables. So, but since we are working with just a single table, so we don't really need to do anything here. So we're just going to, but just see that your data is in your model view. Everything is okay. So now, the next thing we want to do now, okay, a quick introduction now. This is where you have your visuals, what you are going to use to create your charts or your reports. This is where you have it. Then you also have external visuals also, but these are the basic one we have in Power BI. And this is what we are going to use for our analysis in this case now. So let's look at the questions we have now so we can answer a few questions and get done with this. So let me open my, okay. So now this is the task we have to solve. And the first one that we have here says that determine the value for the following KPIs. So the first thing we want to determine is that we want to determine the total revenue for the firm. Then after that, we want to determine the total profits, the quantity sold, then the average discount. So now what we are going to do is to move back to our Power BI and let's solve the first question, which is to determine the total revenue. So for you to determine the total revenue, that means you only want to get a single value. You know, when I was in the Excel practical section, I said when you are conducting your analysis, you have a particular visual you're supposed to use for a particular analysis. So in this case now, we want to get a single value, which is the total revenue. Probably the total revenue is 1 million or 2 million. So it is going to be a single value. So for us to get a single value, the appropriate visual to use in Power BI is our card visual. So let's look at what we have. So this is our card visual here. So this is the appropriate visual to use when you want to return a single value. So I'm going to click on this card now, and then let's see what we're going to get. So this is our card visual. I'm going to, this is our filter pane, but I'm going to hide it for the meantime. So this is our card visual. It is like this because we don't have any value in it. Because we don't have any value in it. So our Power BI is similar to our pivot table, is also a drag and drop application. So this is our card visual. So since we want to get the total revenue, and we already know that our revenue is our sales. So what we are going to do in this case is just to drag this revenue up here to the field pane. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag this, and I'm going to drag it to the field pane. You can see what I did here. So just like this. So now you have your sales in the field. So let's see the result. So this is our result, 12.64 million. So you can actually format these as dollars also, but because of time, we won't be going through that process. So now, but we are going to assume we are working with a dollar currency. So this is over $12 million for the total revenue of the firm. So what we just did is just to select a card visual. Then after selecting the card visual, we drag the sales to the field pane. So that's what we did. Simple as that. Drag and drop. So now we've solved our first question, which is the total revenue. Though we can see that we are having sales here, you can always rename it in the field pane here. This one showing sales. You can always rename it to total revenue. So just double click on it and rename it. You're going to see your total revenue here. So the second question says that we should get the total profit. Get the total profit. So in the same vein, we are going to do something similar to what we did earlier, since we are returning a single value, which is a total profit. So we are going to pick our card visual again, and yeah, this is it over here. Then the same thing we did earlier, we are going to drag and drop the profit visual to this place. So this is it. So this, we can see that our profit is $1.47 million. So you can actually decide to drag it up here, just to have it at the same place, close to the total revenue. So the third one says that, so that's that, we've solved the question like that. So the third one says that we should determine the total quantity sold. And don't forget, though I did not mention it here, but I mentioned it when we were in the Excel practical section, that when you are doing this, when you want to solve a question, you have to check through if you have the required data. So now we have this revenue data, we have the profit data. Then not for the third question, quantity sold now. Let's check if we have the quantity here. We have the quantity here. So that means we can actually go ahead and solve the question. So it's a single value also. We are going to pick our card visual. Then we are going to drag our quantity. Then we can see that the total quantity sold by this firm is 178,000. So that's the total quantity sold. Then we won't be doing this last one, which is the average discount. We're going to move to the next one because of time. So the next one says that we should show like the same question we solved during our Excel practical is what we want to face now. So it says that we should show the monthly trend of revenue for the company and determine which month is favorable and otherwise. So the same question is what we want to solve here. So to do that now, we are going to, like I said in our Excel practical, that the appropriate visual to use for a trend is our line chart. So what you're going to do is, so first of all, pick your line chart. This is where you have your line charts. So pick your line chart. Yeah, this is our line chart. You can expand it. So we can see what we are working with. We can expand it like this. Then after expanding it, the next thing is now to bring in the necessary column that we want to analyze. Don't forget, we want to look at the monthly trend of revenue. That means we are going to need our order dates and our sales column or our revenue column. So this is our order date. We have it here. So that means we are good to go. This is our sales column. So that means we can actually perform our analysis. So to do that now, like I said, it's a drag and drop case. So just drag your order date to your axis. So this is it. This is your order date. So automatically, like we add in Excel, Power BI is going to group it for you: yearly, quarterly, monthly, and daily. Power BI is going to group it for you automatically. So the next thing we want to do,
Sorry,
yeah,
if you have 5 more minutes, at most
okay,
5 more minutes.
no problem.
Okay.
So the next thing we want to do is to drag our sales visual, and then we are going to drag it to our value section here. This is our value section because this we accept a numerical column. So now let's drag our sales to our value and let's see what we are going to get. So we have our order date in our axis, in our sales in our values. So let's look at the visual here. So this is our visual. So like we had in Excel when we first created our pivot table, we had the yearly revenue first, which is we can see what we have in 2011. We have over $2 million, but in 2012 it increased to, okay, in 2011 we have like $2.2 million. In 2012 it increased to $2.6 million. Then in 2013 we have $3.4 million. Then in 2014 we had $4.2 million. So we can look at the trend that it has been increasing over time. But don't forget, we are dealing with monthly revenue in this case. So similar to what we did in Excel, you can just you can do this in so many ways, but because of time, we're just going to do this in this particular way. So in Excel, we are just had to remove the year, the quarter, and everything. So the same thing we are going to do here. You can see the exit button here or the cancel button here. So we are just going to cancel this, the year. We are going to cancel the month. Then we can also cancel the day since we don't need the day. So we can cancel the day also. And let's see what we have. So you can see what we have, that this is also similar to what we arrived at when we were using our Excel. So the same answer, just different tools. So okay, should I do something here? Okay, let me just show you a little bit of what we can do with Power BI, and probably we should just end it here because of our time. So let me show you something interesting here. So you can see that in this case, for May, in the month of May, the revenue for the company is $900,000 plus, $900,000 plus, right? Which is $904,000. Then for the month of June, it increased to $1.2 million. So as an analyst, they might ask you that what happened? What is the cause of the increase? So with a single click, Power BI can actually help you to achieve this. So what you're just going to do is to move your cursor to this side, to the June, then right click on this. So when you right click on this, you are going to see an option to analyze. And it is going to tell you that, do you want to explain the increase? Yes, that's actually what we want to do. We want to explain the increase between May and June. So with just a single click, Power BI is going to tell you what actually contributed to the increase. So what we are going to do is to click on this explain increase, then it is going to run the analysis. You can see what we have. Here is the analysis of the 40.45% increase in sales between May and June. So Power BI is going to run the analysis for us. So it is doing that currently. Yeah, good. Yeah, so we can see what we have here. This is May, this is June. So in between May and June, others, like other country, this is according by country now. It is showing us by country contribution now. like other countries, like combination of other countries contributed this. But the major country that we should focus on are these countries that we have here. You can see that we have France. France in May, France contributed $43,000, but in June, it increased to $89,000. So that's a factor that helped us to increase our revenue in June relative to May. Then we can also look at another country, which is United Kingdom. From $31,000 in May, it increased to $71,000. So this is like an AI future. You don't need to start checking one by one which country actually contributed to your increase. Power BI is going to help you to run the analysis, and it's going to give you the details of what contributed to your increase. Then this is by country. You can also look at it by region.
Okay.
By region.
Mr. Sarumi, our time is fast spent. We may have to pause it here for this session.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So just round off, and
Okay, no problem. So
within 1 minute. Within 1 minute. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, now so you can see here that it is explaining the increase by region. Then you can also scroll, then it is explaining the increase by ship mode, and we can see that standard class actually contributed a lot to our increase, a lot to the increase in revenue during this period. Then you can see a lot more by subcategory. So this is like an AI feature in Power BI that helps you to automatically analyze your data. Then you can also do a lot more. This is just like an introduction for you. You can do a lot more analysis on Power BI. This is just, we are even still working with just a single table. So we are going to stop here for the webinar. And
yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Sarumi. That was a powerful one. You know, Power BI has a lot to actually offer, and you cannot learn everything in this class. In fact, we've not even scratched the surface yet. But we just wanted to show you the things we can do with Power BI and why it is called power business intelligence. All right, so thank you for that. So the next session will be the second guest speaker we have for today, which will be Mr. Yeboah. Yeah, and he's already available. He's set for us. Okay, let me check. Okay, Mr. Yeboah is a supply chain data analyst and RM planner. He currently works at AstraZeneca. Oh my God. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, that is fine.
All right. First drink manufacturing center at Maryland, USA. He has backed the BSc in chemistry. Like you can imagine people who have not studied things related to data analysis in the undergraduates, are moving there, and it is just so mind blowing. He has a lot of experience, and I'm sure that he has a lot of things to offer us this evening. So, without wasting much time, let's take a deep dive. Mr. Yeboah, over to you, sir. You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Data line analytics, and then that is Mr. Daniel, and then Mr. Tolu, and then Mrs. Adetona. Yeah, I hope I got your name right. Yeah, as for Daniel and then Tolu, I can get their name right, but Adetona, I have to make sure I'm getting her name right, which obviously might be her husband's surname. Okay, so let me quickly share my screen. I'll be very quick, but very detailing as well, so that I can give time to others to also do the practical session, which is very important. Okay. Hold on a second.
All right, sir.
All right, let me know when you can see my screen, please. Okay, can you all see my screen now?
Not yet, sir. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Okay, so Let me see. Can you see my PowerPoint slides?
Yes, sir. We can see your slides.
Oh, okay. So hold on a second. I would have to switch my screen to another one. Hold on a second. I have multiple screens, so sometimes.
as as per boss, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please, if you can see my screen, could you please tell me what you see right now?
I'm listening data analytics opportunities presentation by
Okay.
boss. Please can come. Yep.
Okay, and then it's in a presentation mode, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. That is what I wanted to know. So, okay, so good evening, good day, wherever that you are. My name is Yabua Kwesi Kankam. I'm not related to Anthony Yabua, the famous Ghanaian footballer. Okay, so um,
Yeah.
yeah. So today we are going to take a look at how we are going to harness data analytics opportunities. And thanks to Mrs. Aditona, she has already made mention of some of the things that I had wanted to talk about. So that will make me go very quick. Otherwise, it will just be repetition. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, please let me know when you can see the next slide.
Okay, we can
All
see the
right.
next slide.
Yeah, so Mr. Tolu already made mention about me, and then he presented a very short story about me. So I will not spend much time over here. Yeah, that is me and my mom in the middle over there. And then I have 5 siblings, myself inclusive. We are 6, and then we are all boys. Okay. Um, yeah, and then he made
Nice one.
mention that, and then from my profile, he saw that I love driving. So this is actually my favorite, the BMW M8. I do not own one yet, but I'm hoping that one day I could afford one. And then,
Very
yeah,
soon, very soon.
yeah, I'm not married, obviously. And then I'm currently working with AstraZeneca, and then I'm in Maryland in the United States. And then this is my favorite team, Manchester United, which I know most of you do not like us. Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir. Man United for life.
Yeah, and then some of the programs that I use. So I use R a lot. Currently, a project that I'm working on, I'm using R, and then I use Python, and then SAS. I'm a part-time instructor for SAS for a data consult, and then MATLAB, Java, and then SQL. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on to the next slide. All right. So what do data analysts do? All right, so Mrs. Adetola made mention of so many things, so I wouldn't go much into this, but just something little. So primarily, data analysts, our responsibility is to actually take data, okay, gather data, and then we try to investigate the data to identify trends or patterns, okay. And then Daniel was also making mention of predictive forecasting. So we made predictive forecast, and then the end goal, okay, the end goal is to generate meaningful insights out of the data, which will positively influence management decision making. So your manager or your stakeholders or your clients may not be Power BI experts. They do not care about whatever thing that you do with Power BI. At the end of the day, they want your visualization to communicate insight, to make meaningful insights to them. So that is the role of a data analyst. And then we have data scientists. So the two are similar, but there's a slight difference. Okay, so data analyst on the other hand, sorry, data scientists on the other hand use advanced like programming languages. I started as a data analyst, and then when I started doing my MSc, I'm going much into data science. So the data analytics is a subset of the data science. I don't know if you get me. And then all of them fall under
Yeah.
statistics. Okay. So I would say data analytics and then data science are modern day statistics. And then It's like a female who has like makeup on, like she's trying to make herself look beautiful. That is how data analytics and then data science is in our present times, an advanced version of statistics. Okay, so here you use more of R and then maybe Python and then other languages to mine your data and then try to make insights out of your data. Data scientists do not really spend time making visualizations. Okay, that is the work of a data analyst. He or she would have to investigate. So they will gather the data, try to get all the avenues involved to get data in the raw state, which usually do not make sense. And then you, the data analyst, will pick it up, prepare it, and then try to make insight. So we need each other. Okay, we need each other. Now let's move on to the next slide. So I was trying to do my research and then trying to see the job demand and then the future of data analytics. Okay, I wouldn't speak much about data science because, like I said, data analytics is a subset of the data science. So you need to start from somewhere and then you go to another level. Okay, all right. Now, in the US, not only in the US, but I'll speak more of US because that is where I'm currently residing. Jobs in data analytics is plentiful. Okay, when I say plentiful, I mean is everywhere. The jobs are plenty when you go to the East Coast, the West Coast, the South Central part. The jobs are plenty. And then companies are willing to pay you, okay, to become a data analyst for their companies. And then most of the time people think that, oh, data analyst, you need to have a special like skill, or you need to have a degree in data science or a degree in statistics. You do not need all those things. You do not need all those things. Honestly, you do not. It's all about you trying to identify what you want to do and then pursuing it. Okay, and then yeah, I know most of us are also interested in the monetary part. In US, salaries can be as high between the range of $30 an hour to $100 an hour, or even more. I have a boss who earns more than that. He does two jobs. All of them are fully remote. He earns over $100 an hour for both. Okay, and this is relative to location. Maybe if you are in Nigeria, you may not get this hourly rate. If you are in Ghana or if you are in Mozambique, you may not get this hourly rate. But the bottom line is, if you really pursue this career, okay, yeah, the compensations are very good. So you can take it to Nigerian naira. I was doing my calculation and I realized that if somebody is making $100 an hour, okay, that would be like 16,000 a month, right? And then which will be equivalent to like 6.5 million naira a year, right? So maybe my math might not be right, but you can do the calculation. Now, in the US, there's a projected growth of about 8% of this career, okay, or of jobs in data analytics. We have a projected growth of 18% by the year 2029. And that is coming from the US Bureau for labor statistics, and that is huge. And I think it's in relation to the value that Mrs. Aditona gave, which is about 2.7 I think million. I don't know if I got the value right. Okay, so she did make mention of some career pathways. I'm not going to spend my time here, but like I said, you can even take just 3 months to master an area in data analytics. Okay, and then these are some of the career pathways that you can choose. So we have the regular data analyst, where you use Power BI, Tableau, IBM Cognos Analytics. Thankfully, I've been able to have an exposure to most of these major tools, and then they are there. Most of them are open source applications. You just download them and just practice. Okay, you can also become a database developer. Somebody might ask, why a database developer? Okay, database developer because there's an element of data in there. So MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, all those applications you can actually use to build a database. And then it requires somebody who has an intellect in data analytics to be able to do that. So you shouldn't be looking at the Tableau and then Power BI aspect only. You can actually build a database from scratch as a data analyst. Okay, and then we have a data engineer, which is more like data warehousing or data architecture. And then we have cloud computing, which is very common these days. A business analyst, a requirement analyst. We have AML with SAS. So AML is anti money laundering with SAS. SAS is a very powerful application. You can also become an instructor like Mr. Daniel and then Tolu, or a college professor. Which I don't really like that aspect because it doesn't really pay much. And then you can also become a data consultant, just like Dataline. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at some of the sectors where we can actually grab opportunities. Okay, as data analysts. Now I have an information that I had wanted to share with you. Okay, when you look at here, I wrote, do you know? So data has become a key player in businesses around the world. And then you'll be surprised that every day humans create over 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. So it is no surprising that the demand for data analytics jobs is on the rise, because every day we are producing tons and millions and billions of data, which obviously give rise to big data. Okay, now one of the main sectors where we can harness or grab opportunities or make use of data analytic opportunities is the public sector. Okay, you can attest to the fact that in Nigeria, most of the public institutions are mostly independent. So when it comes to collaboration or communication, there's that gap, right? And I believe that data can bridge that gap, in the sense that by using analytic tools, multiple companies, okay, can pull information from multiple sources, while we also democratize data, in the sense that it is not restricted to one particular institution. So Nigeria statistics, maybe company, maybe I'm not getting it right, can pull information from maybe their weather forecasting, maybe corporation,
Yeah,
from your
yeah, you're
maybe,
right, sir.
yeah. So that is one thing. So if you learn this skill, that is why I was talking about database development, and then you're able to add a little bit of cloud computing, you see that we're able to coordinate all these public institutions, right? You'll be able to coordinate all these public institutions, the ministries, all those government corporations. So it's a big plus. And then the manufacturing, which I'm currently where I'm working, AstraZeneca is a biopharmaceutical company, and then we manufacture like cancer medications and then diabetes, and recently we went into vaccine development. So here, a typical aspect will be your supply chain department, right? So it's all about supply and demand. So that is where predictive forecasting comes in. So you know what your clients want, and then you know the materials that you need to get in able to produce your products. And then you know the materials that sell, and then those that do not really perform on the market, right? So as a data analyst, you can actually focus on an area we call supply chain analytics, which will bridge the gap between manufacturing, logistics, marketing, and then finance. So you are all over. So that is another area that you'd want to look at. And then, of course, healthcare, reducing readmission rates, and then insurance claims, and then so many things. Those are some of the things that you can make use of data analytics in healthcare institutions. And then lastly, the financial services. Most of you, everybody on this call loves money. And then when we talk about finance, it's 90% money. So if it is 90% money, it's all about what? Numbers. And then the good thing is that data can easily be collected in this area. Okay, so when you're in this domain, you have the ability to actually showcase your talent. So there are so many things. We have the retail, we have so many sectors. So it is onto you to identify the sector which you really have interest in, and then you make sure that you become nothing but the best. You stay on top of your game. If you're in the public sector, you always try to be dynamic. Okay, because I know that the public sector there's too much bureaucracy, but you try to be dynamic in your work as a data analyst, and then I believe that hard work also comes with good compensation. And then let's look at how we are going to grab these opportunities. Okay, so I have already made mention that you need to stay current to be competitive. You need to stay on top of your game. Now we are going to take a look at some of the things that we need to do as current data analytics professionals or aspiring to be data analytics professionals. Some of the things that we need to do. Okay, so I wrote or I gathered 4 pieces of information in no particular order. So the first one is you identifying your interest. Identify your interest. So you do not want to jump into data analytics because people are saying that it pays. You'll be surprised that you get into the job and then you'll be overwhelmed by the job requirements and then the tasks that is going to be assigned to you. So the first thing that you need to take note is that passion is inevitable in any pursuit, right? So you need to be ready to sacrifice your all for the industry that you are going in. And interest, okay, your passion is the stepping stone. Do not just go into data analytics because Mr. Tolu or Daniel or Yeboah or Mrs. Adetona is saying that it's a very lucrative field. You can work from home and so many other things. When you know deep within you, it is not your interest. Okay. So you need to consider that. And then you need to stay current. I've already made mention about that. You need to be ready to learn, unlearn, and then relearn to stay current. Okay. You see how Daniel was trying to lead us through some practical sessions. If you don't practice, you will forget. So you need to keep practicing so that you fine tune your skill every day, each and every day. I never had a degree in data analytics. I started as a chemist, environmental scientist, and then within like 6 months or so, I was able to give my all and then sacrifice my time to learn this and then practice. So you need to practice. So I'll recommend this guy, Admon Lee Kin Lim. He's on LinkedIn. That is his name on LinkedIn. And then you can actually go to his website. That guy is very fantastic. You can learn a lot from him as a beginner, as an intermediate professional, or even as an expert. And then you need to be marketable. This is my favorite part. You need to be marketable. Okay, your Twitter handles, your LinkedIn handles, what are you doing over there? Are you posting all those kind of like pictures over there? Are you marketing yourself? How are you branding yourself? When you brand yourself, your brand speaks for itself. I was very amazed when I went to LinkedIn and saw Daniel's profile. I saw the kind of work that he has been doing. If I'm a hiring manager and Daniel sits as my interview partner, I'm not going to talk too much. I'll just give him the job, whether I know him or not, because I see the stuff that he's doing and then he's putting on LinkedIn. So you may want to build a very strong LinkedIn profile, okay? And then you market yourself there. Sometimes you can engage in data boot camps, and then you engage in challenges. When you go to kaggle.com, you can download thousands of data sets, and then you try to build visualizations in Power BI or Cognos Analytics or wherever that you can find yourself. Okay, you try to do something, then you publish on your LinkedIn, okay, to market yourself. You think people are not watching, but people are really watching. People are really watching. And then the last is you need to be coachable. Some people think that, oh, I have a PhD, so I'm not really going to humble myself to be taught. You can never know it all. Okay, you can never know it all. The one who trained me holds a PhD, okay, in statistics and then pure mathematics. He's doing his second PhD. He teaches me a lot of things, but when it comes to us, he also learns a lot of things from me. Okay, so you can never know it all. So our advice is that you need to be available to be shown the way. Mr. Daniel and then Mr. Tolu are doing a fantastic job. I believe they are wonderful teachers. If you don't know something, okay, try to go to them. Learn, be coachable, be available to be mentored. Okay, that is one of the ways out. And then I'll move on to my last slide, like I promised. I think I'll give 5 minutes back. This is my take-home message, and I wrote here from the line chart. What do you see? From the line chart, what do you see? So this is actually a line chart in R. Okay, in R, and then you see the uptrend movement, right? And then the retracement, just like maybe forex or stock market, uptrend, retracement, uptrend, retracement, uptrend. Over here, the very first uptrend you see over here, somebody might have thought that this is my best. Okay, but if you look at this place, okay, the next peak, which is at the eighth section of the Y coordinate, you see that he improved, right? And then he retraced again, and then it bounced back, and then it went up again, and it's flying. So the bottom line here is, or my take-home message for you is that don't convince yourself that your best is the best. Your best actually is not your best. There is always room for improvement. A lazy person would have stuck at the fifth coordinate, but when you pursue, you go to the eighth coordinate or the eighth mark, and then when you pursue again, you see that you'll be flying. So there is not an end to the level to which you can learn or become an expert in data analytics or in data science. The bottom line is you need to desire, and then you need to push hard. Avail yourself to be coachable or mentored, and then trust me, you will do extremely well. I'm not the best in my class, and I wasn't the best, but if I am able to do this, trust me, if you give yourself 6 months continuous dedication, spend less time on social media, and then know the journey ahead of you, you are going to make good money, and then you're also going to enjoy life and then have fulfillment in life. Okay, so I'll end here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Wow, awesome. Thank you, sir. That was powerful. Thank you, Mr. Yeboah. We really appreciate that. Thank you for the enlightenment and the information, everything you gave. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are almost done for today, but before we leave, I want to introduce us to the next, our next cohort starting by August. So let me share my screen so that you will see some of this information. So in case you are, okay, let me start by saying that many schools currently in Nigeria, like we know, they don't actually teach you its analytics, sort of. Like in Nigeria currently, you have to develop your skill yourself. And because they don't teach you this, it doesn't mean that in the labor market or in the market of job, in the job market, you won't be required to have all these skills. You would be required to have all these skills, and you don't have a choice. If you are interested in this line, you have to learn all these skills. And I've actually said a lot today, and I will not want to actually bore you with so much uh, story again. So I'll just introduce us to our next cohort that's starting by August. I would enjoin us to join. It's going to start by the second week in August. So we'll learn 4 tools: Python, Power BI, SQL, Excel. So there's a way you can actually mix these tools together, but you can't learn everything. You can't learn Power BI, Python, SQL, and advanced Excel in just 2 months. You can't learn. So we'll have a mix actually. We have a mix, but we'll let you know how we mix them together so that you know you want to actually choose. So we can just take 30 students. We can't take more than 30 students. We can take, so if we get, so once we get up to that, we would you would join the wait list for the next cohort. That would be by, I think, October or November. So for Excel, we'll walk you through these basic Excel functions, text and date functions, uh, how to actually use Excel to analyze your data set, and would take you through advanced functions in analytics, Excel. You create your dashboard, pivot tables, charts, and conditional formatting and functions, and a lot of things. So on Power BI too would walk you through stuff in Power BI. We have a whole lot of things to actually dish out to you if you are part of the cohort. So for those who are interested and have been making inquiries about it, this are the information to actually need. So if you want to join the cohort, you can reach out to us after this class. And for SQL to have the introductory aspects, syntax, aggregation functions, case functions, join. A lot of things are there for you to learn and become what you really want to become. And like Mr. Eboa said, if you give yourself 6 months, in fact, you'll be surprised at the transformation that you would have. But if you don't start at all, in the next 6 months, you will still be the same you that you were. So I would advise that you start something, and our classes are always recorded, and they're always on weekends. They're always on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Mr. B, hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Always on weekends, and so if you work actually, so you can go to work during the week, and then on weekends we would have the classes. So, and if you are not chanced at a particular weekend, you can actually get the recorded videos and then watch. And we have made our prices so affordable for people, because we know that in the market there, the prices there are high to learn skills like this. You don't want to know how much some of our bosses they charge. So for us to actually give you something like this at this price, you should know that it is something very, very low. You heard what Mr. Yebo said, that in the US, you can earn up to $100 per hour as a data analyst. I was even shocked because I didn't even know it was even up to that. So imagine you earning that, and then you want to learn these 3 skills for $46 in 2 months. That is so low. So, but you actually just uh, decided this because we really want people to get these skills. They are very necessary in this age. Okay, I think I have a picture here that I saw on the internet. Let me show you that picture. I saw this picture on the internet. Look at something. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, what can you see on my screen?
I think a job landscape 97 million.
Okay. Can you see that the growing job demands in the world? This was by World Economic Forum last year. So he said by 2025, these are the jobs that are going to be really in high demand. And can you see the number one? Data analysis and science, just the same thing Mr. Yebo has said. AI and machine learning specialist, big data specialist. Imagine number one to three is under data. So you don't just have a choice if you want to actually remain relevant in the next 5 to 10 years in this field. You have to learn these skills, and there are jobs that are growing out of demand, which are data entry clerks, administrative and executive secretaries. AI is taking over the space. AI is taking over the space, and you don't have to than to just be among those who are actually taking advantage of opportunities like this. Trying to go back. Okay, so so if you want to join the code, these are the prices. They are not at all high at all. This is very, very low, very low. I won't spend much time on this. And once we get 30 students, we are kicking off because we want to make sure that we are able to deliver the best to each student. We have several testimonials from our past course, but time will not actually permit us to actually, tell you everything. And Abimbola has actually said some of it because she was part of the cohort, of the last cohort. And so if you're actually interested, you can actually reach out to the admin of any of the groups, and then we would actually work it. So we actually gave a full scholarship to someone who actually did what we have said, and she actually won the scholarship. Her name is Dagema Esther. Is she online? I don't know if she's online. Okay, she's not online, but she actually won the scholarship. So she would have the opportunity to choose either of these tools, the packages, and learn, learn. So thank you, everyone. We actually appreciate your presence to this time of the webinar. Without you, there would not be anything to webinarize. Let me use that English, but then you actually made it to this time. So we do something like this once in 3 months. So the next one would be by October. Next one by October. So we actually love you all. Thank you for staying till this time. And Mr. Sarimi, are you on?
Yes, I'm
okay,
on.
Yes.
I'm on.
Okay. What do you have to say before we leave? And what do you have to say to everyone before we close the class for today?
Okay, so thank you all for waiting to this time, and you can check the chat box also. I think Yebo dropped something there. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you, and looking forward to seeing you in class.
Okay.
It will be starting next month,
Okay.
So just do up to register.
All right. So, and then one last thing, you have certificates for these classes, and they're actually verifiable. Not this one though. The course classes. Once you are part of the class and then you submit your project after the class, you would actually be given the verifiable certificate that you can present for your job interviews, and put on your profile too. So we have come to the end of this class. So for the paid class, it will be Python, Power BI, SQL, and advanced Excel. So this is just the combination. You can choose Excel and Power BI, or three of them, or Python alone. So you can decide to actually choose any of the combinations, and then we'll send this information to the group so that we can actually go through them and select our choices. So I'm sure we actually enjoyed this class. So see you all next time when we see, and we upload this video on YouTube, so you can actually rewatch if you want to rewatch this video. We upload it this night or tomorrow morning, so you can find time to rewatch and go through what Mr. Bimbola and Mr. Yebo has taught us today, and the practicals too, and then the data set too. All right, so thank you everyone. See you when we see. All right, Mr. Yeboah, thank you for today. We actually enjoyed your presentation, and Ms. Abimbola, we really appreciate your presentation too. We actually appreciate that. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. If you're not in Nigeria, have a wonderful day. If you're in Nigeria, have a wonderful evening.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there is a question in the chat box.
Okay. I wanted to actually even answer them on the group though because of our time. How do we? Okay. I thought you're in our group. Let me drop my phone number. Or yeah, let me drop my phone number. You can actually reach me by 16742.